everyone, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Bin, where we take you behind the proverbial trash bin and we break down some of the builds we do here at Puppet Trash. My name is John Steiger. I am the guy here at Puppet Trash. In this episode, since we just wrapped up our spooky season, where in the month of October, each week we tried to do something that was a little on theme with Halloween and fall. One of those builds actually quite surprised me with how well it moved, and that was Binder Bat, where we took an old black binder that was kind of broken, well, not really working anymore, and we turned it into a bat. So, let's go behind the bin and check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4!
Yeah.
So, as the name may give it away, Binder Bat, the source of inspiration for this puppet was a binder, an old black binder that I had that wasn't really working anymore. It was doing that thing where it was like, you know, when the clips are slightly off and it doesn't really, the paper catch, drive me crazy. I hate that. But the opening closing motion of it, I thought, was really interesting and indicative of things with wings. And so since we were doing the spooky season, I was like, what's spooky and flies? Bats. Great, let's go with like a little vampire bat. And then of course we used other elements of trash to kind of put the whole thing together that we'll break down when we check out the video in more detail. So let's check it out. All right, here we are ready to go and check out the short for Binder Bat. One of the sort of ideas behind this was when you go to, the best example I can think of is like a zoo, and every once in a while they might have sort of puppet performers with different animals and things like that. Disney has their Winter Menagerie, I think it's called, where you can see the puppeteer, you can see the animal, but it doesn't really take away from the magic of the moment. And that was kind of the idea for this Binder Bat, is like, I was gonna be there, you were gonna be able to see me, but it doesn't take away from focal point, which is this little guy. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. As always, we always have to start with a little shtick, because that's what I do. So really quick, I was watching the Graham Norton show, and Mark Hamill was on it, and he was kind of talking about how they did the effects for the Force, using the Force in the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm sure he's talked about this in other places, but this is where I specifically saw it. And they did a little bit where they kind of implemented that old style of doing it, and basically what he said was all they did was throw the camera in reverse. They filmed it backwards and then they reversed the footage, so it looked like it was flying into his hand or something was levitating or what have you. That was how they kind of got the Force effect back then. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of fun and I like that, and I'm sure there are easier ways to do it now, but I don't know how to do it, so this is the best that I can do. And it was a mind boggle, because you have to film it, you have to do it backwards, knowing that when you edit it, you're gonna reverse it so it'll look good. I think it came out well, but it took me a while because my brain was like, okay, you have to throw it, this, that, and the other. Like sometimes my face does weird things because I don't even, that's literally my brain breaking while I'm trying to figure this out. I don't do well with inverted controls or reversed what have you. So, I'm shocked this came out as well as it did. With the videos, I always love a little bit of abuse sounds wrong, but you'll notice in the videos a common theme is I'll throw the trash or hit the trash or get scared by the trash or something negative action towards the trash, because then the trash will typically fight back and the puppet will win in the end. That's the kind of structure that I like to play with. In my mind, there's not a huge separation between puppeteer and puppet. I do think the puppet always has to win though. So whatever the situation is, you know, it's almost like one of the old vaudevillian comedic sets, like an Abbott and Costello kind of thing, where each person has its own characteristic. For me, the puppet always has to win in this scenario. So that's why sometimes you'll see the trash gets thrown, but then I get hit, or I get spooked, or I lose in the end. It's just this odd character that I've sort of adapted through this, and yeah, I kind of like it. That stop motion we love so much. So the teeth are just the prongs of plastic forks. So they're just, it's nothing crazy, it's just different sized plastic fork prongs. I did 4 sets of them. I pre-cut 4 sets so that we could do the stop motion effect. So each time it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that's 4 different lengths of prongs. I've said prongs a lot today. And the eyes are bottle caps. They're painted green and black, and the pupils are black construction paper. So again, we did a little pre-work with it. I cut out the 2 pupils, and then I cut out the slots, and that was I would just interchange those for the stop motion effects. You can kind of see sometimes the eyes don't line up properly. They're held there by very lightly placed double-sided tape, so I could remove them easier. As the video progresses, you will notice that the paint on the eyeballs starts to go away because the paint rips it off, because plastic's not super good for holding paint. So that's the little secret of the video. As you watch the eyes, you'll notice that they start to go. So there's more of that. The hand there just gives us that good transition. The ears are the top halves of plastic spoons. So there's a lot of plastic cutlery in this one. Bats are sensory creatures, so their ears are a little bit more concave. I hope that's right. I think they work really well. I did try to paint the ears, but the plastic did not respond well to the paint. So it's just scrap pieces of construction paper that I've glued onto the ears there. And that's just the thread. That's just some sewing thread. There's nothing special about it. I did end up tying black ribbon to the end of it to kind of make sure they don't come out of the holes that I poked into the binder. And then the pole in the middle was just I don't even know what that was. I think it was like a tension pole that I had found, and it had been there for ages, and I just took it. That pole acts as the body of the bat, and it was quite sturdy so that when I flapped the wings, the body didn't go all over the place. It fit really well, so I didn't have to hold it in with glue or anything. It just stuck in, and I got really lucky with that one. And so right there, I love that sideways, that profile shot, because it really, the wings, I think, look really, really good. The body also goes up and down just sort of naturally, or I can make it go up and down at the back end of that rod. It gives it a nice little up and down, like the wings are pushing up the body up, and when they go up, the body goes down a little bit. So it's almost like he's struggling to fly, which I think bats always look like they're struggling to fly. It's a miracle that they can fly. Side note, I'm terrified of bats. This is a genuine phobia that I have. So the fact that I made a puppet of one shows a lot of growth. Good for me. Just playing around with it, I had to put him upside down. It's just silly. It's just silly, you know. What was great was it was simple to do, and again, it just moved really, really well. This is one of those rare projects where it came together in my head, and then it came together in real life as well. And I'm very chuffed with it. I really am. So I recommend, if you have a binder or something similar to it, do something like this. It's a lot of fun because it's that movement of the wings that's super satisfying to play with and to see in practice. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Behind the Bin. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun to do. It was one of the smoother sort of builds I've done, there was a lot of pre-planning that went into it, and I'm going to try to implement that a little bit more as I go down the road, just for my own sanity. But I love the movement, I love the way it works, and being a part of it, but a little bit distant, and getting to implement things like stop motion. I'm always a big fan of incorporating that into telling the micro stories that we tell here. So if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like and subscribe, because we got so much more stuff coming down the line. I can't wait to share it with you. I can't wait to kind of pull back the curtain on this process of this weird little thing that we're doing. But yeah, it always makes me smile. I hope it makes you smile, because that's what it's all about. So stay creative, stay safe, stay kind, and we will see you next time. Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.